Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm sorry for this ray of light. I can't blind completely my window, so yeah, I'll just have to do with that. So before jumping into today's video, I just want to do a short update on the White Nights watercolors that I unboxed and tested for the first time in my last video. So if you remember, they came in this little box and I did this. And so since then, I've added some more little swatches and I really want to do a bigger color chart. So that's probably what I'm going to do next with these colors. And I've also used them to do this here. So they performed really well and I love the color I could get here. And it's really nice because as they are limited palette and not the same limited palette as my other small palettes, I can kind of learn more how to mix them and learn to mix colors I don't usually mix, so it's pretty nice. And I'm learning how to use the emerald green finally. I've put them in this box here, so I have this little swatch sheet that we did together and I put some, I don't know if you can see, but I've put some transparent tape on top just to make sure that this doesn't get wet. And I've put them in here so that I can have them with me easily. And on the palette itself, actually it was why I bought the palette, I've put some dry gouache. So here are my Linel Le Franc-Bourgeois, yeah, I think that's the name, gouache. And I've already did a small palette like that I have at work for my lunch breaks and stuff. And I wanted to have one that I can take with me on my planner setup, because for now I was using my tube and it was not that easy to just have the tubes, put them on my really small palette, and this one is a tin palette, so as my support for planner printing is magnetic, I can put this on top of it and just paint directly. So that's super nice and it's still drying, so I'm leaving it here. And finally, I wanted to show that I've done this one also. This is on 100% cotton watercolor paper, Winsor & Newton watercolor paper. And it's only done with the White Nights watercolors. So it was also like to test them and to, basically it's the same as this one, but a more finished version. So I like it. I think I'm gonna redo it because I'm not really happy with how the sky turned out. I still put too much carmine in the sky and have it lean too much towards violet. And my different the background elements are not so clear here, but I really like how the sunlight rays came in. And yeah, still some stuff I can enhance, but it's pretty nice. So that's it for the kind of update, and today I thought I was gonna do some, not acrylic, but some old pastels. So those are my old pastels. I don't know if I've shown this, because before I had this. So those are the PBO pastels. Those were the one I used in my last old pastel video a while ago. And since then I've bought the Dixon 36 pastels. So I have a lot of colors, but the quality is quite poor, so I don't really like them. I use them a bit when I miss a color, but I don't really like them. And then I bought those really nice ones. So those are Caran Neopastel, so very high quality, and I have just 4 colors because they're super expensive. And those are Sennelier all pastels, and same, I just bought the kind of basic the set with the really basic primary colors and just a green, and of course black and white. So I thought I could use them. I've already used them. So okay, just an update. Since my last video on old pastels, I've done a few tests on old pastels just to kind of try to understand how they work and all the stuff. So yeah, I did some things here, and then I took a Skillshare class I will link it in the description, to kind of understand more how I can blend them and what worked for me, what I liked when blending, what I didn't like. I tried to use some linseed oil, that didn't work out at all. But I learned a bit, I played a bit with them to try to learn them. Then I did this here. So that's a landscape. I did only with the nice quality old pastels. So it turned out kind of weird, but I like it. So I'm gonna try to do something kind of similar in here. So brand new page. And I'm gonna go big, but I'm gonna put some nice borders on it. So first I'm gonna tape the borders to have nice borders. And I want to go quite big because you can't really put any type of fine details with old pastels. So I want to see if by going big I can achieve something nice. So let's see. It's just a test. And this channel is also to kind of push me out of my comfort zone. Not that I have really a comfort zone, but you know, to experiment new stuff at least. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Okay, so this is taped nicely, and I'm just gonna, so I want to try to do a water scene. So I'm gonna start just by putting the main elements. So basically I have here my water line. And I have a reference picture, but I'm not gonna follow it perfectly. I just want to use it as a reference, but do my own thing with it. So here there are gonna be some cliffs. And as you can see, you can only be quite rough with all pastels. So that's why I want to try to do a bigger piece to see how I can work with not the limitations, but the characteristics of this medium. So here is the beach, and here we're gonna have, I'm still having the same issue that I don't have a lot of colors, so I'm still struggling a bit to do all that I want to do. But yeah, basically those are the main elements. So now let's go with a nice blue sky here. So I discovered that you can actually, by using the tortillons, you can actually really smooth it out. So I'm gonna try to do that. And so not just put some rough colors on top and then smooth it out and then blend and layer the colors a little bit and see how this goes. And same, I'm just gonna use the nice quality ones, and I'm gonna see afterwards if I want to really add some colors on top. I don't know if I can. I've never tried actually to layer the different colors yet, so I'm gonna see how this goes too. And the Sennelier are so smooth, like it's crazy how smooth they are actually. It's very, very nice to use them. They are buttery, like they literally just melt in your hands. So I'm always fearing that they won't last very long because they will just, you know, melt away. So here I think I'm gonna put a little bit of blue also and a little bit of green on the sea just to get this very nice tone. And here I'm gonna put some more, I'm just trying, you know, a bunch of colors to see which one looks nice and how they look together. And I can also use my white to kind of put, the white of Sennelier is so creamy, it really makes a difference to use white. So it's really interesting also to see that. So trying to kind of imitate the waves here. So I don't have a lot of technique yet on how to use them, so I'm just, you know, layering them and see what happens basically. But by no means I'm a professional on how you should use all pastels. And I think it's a lot about experimenting too, and finding out what you like to do with them and what you don't. So here I'm working on putting some places in light and in shadows with this cleaf. So having some places that are very dark and some like here to show that it's kind of inland, and some that are more in the light. That. I'm not quite sure. Maybe actually I should put this much higher. Yeah. And because you can blend so easily, also I can't say that you can fix everything, but you can kind of fix a lot of stuff, so that's pretty nice too. I'm putting a little bit of violet to enhance the contrast of the shadowy parts. And even here, I think I'm going to put a little bit of violet for the shadows. Okay, so I'm going to start. One thing that is important also when you're using old pastel is to clean up your old pastels, because they can get really... I've just cleaned this one, so it's not really... can't really see it, but if I take this one for instance, you can see that there is a lot of violet on top, so I'm just gonna scrape it on a small piece of paper to have it back to its color, because otherwise when you're using it you will just put some of this other color on top, and you want to keep them as clean as possible, except if you're trying to blend two colors, then maybe you're okay with having two colors very close. But here I don't want them to blend without me asking them to blend. So yeah. Now I'm gonna use my Tortillon, and same for the Tortillon, I'm always kind of scraping it before to make sure that I'm not gonna mix my colors, as I don't want to. So I'm just scraping it on top of my old pastel like that. And then if I see that I missed some color, I'm just gonna go over it and add some more of that color, and to help it blend also. Because the thicker your layer is, the more easy it is to have a nice blend, I feel. Otherwise it will be hard to fill in the cracks of the paper because you don't have enough old pastel to kind of go over it all. So you need quite a bit to actually be able to do that and to have a nice blend. And you can see the difference it makes already just on this small part here. It's crazy. I'm always amazed. So here I'm gonna put a little bit of white and a little bit of blue, because I want this to be a very pale version of what was there, and the two to mix together, because it gives, it looks as though the sun is shining through in a way. So that's why I want to keep some places a little bit more pale, and here around I want to have a lot of white, and I'm gonna add back the texture afterwards. So for now I'm blending it all, and then I'm gonna put some more textures on top if I want to, if I manage to. I mean, that's the plan. I'm not sure how it will go, but that's the idea that I have here. And I'm trying to keep also the direction of where I want, how I want the flow of water to actually flow. So for instance, here I'm going this way, and there I was going this way, because there we are more in open waters. So it goes more this way. I'm gonna put a little bit more dark blue here and there, just to add a little more depth in my water. And here it's actually very white already, so same, and there are a lot of movements. So I'm not gonna blend it that much here, and I'm just gonna play with the texture like that. And use what is on my tortillon here to kind of give the impression that there is some water in between. Maybe add a little bit more here and there, and just, you know, blend it that way so that it's not white on white, but white on something. Okay, so here I'm gonna put a little bit more yellow, because I want this part to be shallow water, so we want to see the color of the sun going through the water, and also of the sand underneath the water. And same here, so here is getting more and more shallow, so I put the color of the sand here and some yellow. The waves are really going all the way like that, so something like that. And then I'm really always like scrubbing this to make sure that I don't mess my colors too much. Of course, there will be a little, like you're supposed to have a tortillon for each type of color, but I don't have that, so I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. But of course I have a little bit of color mixing, but I think it stays pretty clean. So here is my sand color, so I'm gonna put some more sand color here to really have a nice blend. And here on my water, I'm gonna put a little bit more sand colors. Yeah, that looks pretty nice, I feel. I don't know what you think. I think it needs more white on this area here. So now I'm gonna work on these rocks here. So I really like to blend. I mean, you can leave it like that and not blending everything like I'm doing, but I really like the aspect of the blended all pastels, so that's why I'm blending it all now. So here I'm gonna put a little more definition. No, I'm sure definition is the word with all pastels, but that's kind of a boulder like that. Okay. Maybe I have a little bit of the waves crashing into it, like so. This tortillon is so beaten up, it can just, you know, bend like that. It's weird. But it will do for the rest of this piece, I think. So now working on this bigger cliff here. So it's just a simple cliff. I mean, I could have tried to put some more details, but as I'm still very new to all pastels, I wanted to keep it quite simple, with a really simple landscape with just, you know, a cliff, a foreground, and some water. Yeah, basically that's my cliff here. And as you can see, it's just a matter of putting the colors first and then kind of layering on top and see what's happening, and putting some more colors if you need to, and all of this. Now for this part, I think I want to put a little bit of red here to have kind of a more autumn colors on the cliff, and it will contrast nicely, I think, with the water. So a little bit more yellow and a little bit more red. I'm gonna put a little more of this here just to add the idea of the sun kind of going on the cliff like that, on the cliff edge. Yeah, that looks nice. And then there is just this foreground, and here I don't want to blend it all because I want to keep kind of a different texture here. So I'm just gonna do some little scrubbing like so and see how it works, because I want the colors to kind of blend together, but I don't want to have such a smooth texture as the one I'm having on the other parts of the landscape. So keeping it a little more rough to give a little more variety here. Like so. Okay, so now what am I missing? Oh, the sky. Okay, I completely forgot about the sky. So the sky, I want it to be kind of smooth. I will see if I try to put some okay, I'm just gonna add some more texture here to kind of put the foam going onto the sand like so. Adding some more also here. I'm lacking more and more to do those types of landscapes. It's very much still work in progress on learning, on understanding how to do them actually. But I think they're really fun landscapes to try. I've done some with gouache, some with watercolors lately. So yeah, trying to build an understanding of those landscapes and an understanding of how I can capture them with different medium. So yeah, now let's work with the sky. So I'm gonna put a little more blue here. And actually the sky is very blue on the right hand corner, and then it leans a little bit more towards white. So I'm gonna play here with some blue and then also add some white to kind of blend it together here and on more of the horizon line. So let's see how this goes. Oh, my tortillon was a bit dirty, but yeah. I find it fascinating how this blends actually. I really love that. And I have to work more with my less good quality ones to see what I can achieve with them, because now that I've discovered those, I'm just so in love with those that I never use the other ones anymore. but I still want to see what I can do with them because I don't want to just throw them, you know, throw them away. So I'm gonna work on that also. I think I want the sky to be less pure blue, more white, because otherwise it will be weird with the very bright sea and all. So I'm gonna lighten all my sky. Oh, this is creating some interesting texture here. I have a little bit of other colors that just got mixed in because my tortillon was not completely clean. But you know, that just happens. And how smooth that is, you can't really tell because you're not touching it, but it is so smooth. That's crazy. Okay, that looks pretty nice. I think I'm gonna add even more white here and maybe work a little bit on these lines there, on the sea line, to have a really clear distinction between sea and sky. And I know you can also work with like scraping oil and stuff. But like I said, I'm still experimenting with different techniques, so I haven't tried it yet. Maybe I'll do that at some point and make a video about that. But yeah, for now I haven't tried out this type of techniques. Yeah. So I think that's it for today's video. This is my old pastel piece, so I'm gonna try to put the paper. Okay, no, this paper is very, very strong, so I can't take it off without heating up the paper, otherwise it rips the paper out. So I'm just gonna grab my hairdryer, rip it off, and show you the final results. See you in just a second. Okay, so here it is, the whole final piece. So I don't know if you saw, but I did it on acrylic paper. It still ripped a little bit, my paper here and there, but I think it's okay. Just some close-ups so that you can see there's still a lot of texture, even if I use my tortillon. And the sky here. Yeah, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing an update on my old pastels and also the updates on the White Nights watercolors. As always, if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to comment and subscribe and all those stuff. It will really help my channel. And if you want to see me do anything specific in the future, just let me know. I just love to try different stuff, so I'm pretty open to any type of art test. And until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!